What's up, guys? My name is Braden, and I'm going to be talking to you today about a stock that I am personally bullish on. Now, to start things off, this might be one of my first videos on my channel. I just want to make it clear that I'm a beginner investor. I'm kind of sharing my journey as a long-term investor. So this is not financial advice. Obviously, the smart way to park your money is in the S&P 500, which is boring yet safe. I do that for my Roth IRA and for my retirement accounts. So I personally like to look at tech and growth stocks, which they haven't done very well this year. But as a long-term investor, I'm looking at 5 to 10 years down the road. I'm really not thinking about tomorrow in terms of these long-term stocks and that portfolio. Now, just because I like this stock doesn't mean you should buy it. Let's make that clear. Always, and I mean always, do your due diligence on the stocks that you buy instead of relying on YouTube gurus like myself. So today we're going to be talking about HIMS, the HIMS stock. Now, this is a stock that's been buzzing around social media for the past, trending heavily for the past few months since the Super Bowl. And I'll get into that. But let's kind of talk about what HIMS is. As you can see, I have the website behind me, but ChatGPT describes HIMS as a modern direct-to-consumer telehealth company making healthcare simple, affordable, and accessible, especially for younger, tech-savvy consumers. It offers discreet online consultations and subscription-based treatments for everyday issues like hair loss, mental health, sexual wellness, skincare, and weight management, all delivered straight to your door. Think of it as the digital front door to personalized healthcare built for the Netflix generation. Now, I mean, you could have ChatGPT'd that description and then made your decision based on that. I don't really care. I like to think about stocks from a potential point of view. So instead of looking at the company where it is right now, which, believe me, it's in an incredible spot right now, I like to think about companies 5 to 10 years in the future. And I think HIMS is a really exciting opportunity, at least for myself and for my own personal portfolio. HIMS is kind of that opportunity where you can go directly through the business and they connect you with a provider, and then you're able to kind of put in your information and request what you need. When I look at a stock, I like to look at the all-time highs kind of as a gauge of the potential of a stock. That's probably not rooted in anything legit, like any technical indicators, so don't do that if you don't trust that. But that's kind of what I've grown to like. And so, looking at the stock chart here, if we go to 3 months ago, we see this huge increase in price. So in January, it was sitting at $25. I mean, even back in September, it was sitting at $14. Okay, it went from, let's start here when it started to run up. January 10th, $24.39. It ran all the way up to $73.02 or whatever, $73. Okay. Now, there was a few reasons why this happened. Mainly, if I had to guess, it had really good momentum, but it was also due to that Super Bowl commercial. After that Super Bowl commercial hit, everyone was really intrigued with the stock, and I think there was a huge amount of buying that happened. And we can see kind of this huge increase, this huge pump that happened over a span of 2 weeks or a week. And so we're looking at the all-time high potential is $73. And so in my mind, right now it's sitting at 33. In my mind, it can get back to 72 pretty easily. Or at least that's kind of the potential that it has reached. And so if I buy now, I'm almost doubling my money, if not more, right? So now that I've given some context and some background, let's get into why this stock is, in my opinion, and for me, a really good stock to buy as a beginner investor focused on growth. Now, this stock, during the dip that just occurred, it was sitting at, I think the lowest that it got was around $22 to $24, and it's been kind of consolidating around the $25 to $30 price point for a little bit. And then recently we saw a huge jump in price from $28 to $40. But as a beginner investor, $30 a share, or right now it's at $33 a share really isn't a lot. I mean, you probably spend $33 on your Marvel Rival skin and your weekly Mountain Dew and Doritos run. So I think you could allocate $33 to a stock if you really wanted to. So as a beginner investor, it's a relatively cheap stock at $33 right now. And it has the ability to get to 72, which is 118% increase on your money. And so, yes, it is a very volatile stock, so be careful. If you do choose to, invest in HIMS, but at the same time, I think it has a lot of potential from here to go up. And I think, personally, from a long-term investment point of view, in the next 5 to 10 years, this whole idea of a company kind of delivering these weight loss drugs and hair supplements and anxiety, kind of all these things that people are valuing these days and are really important to our society, they're kind of capitalizing on this specific market of medications. And I really do believe in the long-term potential of this company. I think my generation, moving forward in 20 years, will kind of want that something quick and easy for these types of medications. So they have a lot of market share that they could potentially get just because so many people want these types of medications in their lives. Weight loss is a huge thing right now with Ozempic. And then also, things such as hair loss is becoming something that men really want to improve on. And so as society progresses, I really think that we'll see people living longer, people becoming healthier, and I think these drugs and the medication system that they have going will really benefit from that improvement of overall societal health. Now that's just my opinion. Don't come at me if you don't agree with that. So they have their financials up on their website, and so you can go through this on your own if you really want to. I'm not going to go through every single number just because that's not really what I'm all about as an investor. But basically, the revenue for the 2024 was $1.48 billion, which is a 69% increase from 2023. So they're improving year after year, which is really important. And then their subscriber base is at 2.23 million at the end of 2024, which is a 45% increase from 2023. Now, this is a company that I had never heard of before the Super Bowl. And so, I'm sure early investors had heard of this stock. But now that it's kind of captured the attention of most Americans who watch football, I think that's just going to increase exponentially over the next 2 to 3 years. And so earnings is actually coming up on Monday in a few days, on May 5th. And so I'm not here to say whether the stock is going to go up or go down. We saw SoFi report really good earnings, stock went down. We saw Hood report really good earnings, stock was kind of flat. So you never know what's going to happen in this market. But I do think they're going to report really good earnings because this is the quarter that kind of followed the Super Bowl ad that pumped their stock, that got people paying attention, and now they're kind of reaping the benefits for this quarter. So I really think the earnings are going to be really good this quarter and next. Like I said, I wouldn't trade into it because maybe I will because I'm a degenerate. But I don't know what's going to happen with the stock. It could go up, could go down. Even if the results are really good, could go down. So they're profitable. So to me, looking at the numbers, it is a really good time to buy. I think those numbers are just going to increase over time. And like I said, do your own due diligence and look at the numbers for yourself. And it gets me thinking, why is Reddit, which obviously they're two different industries, two different companies, but why is Reddit priced at $116 per share? And they produce half the revenue of HIMS. It's advertising, it's slightly different. But a company like even Tempest AI, which is in the healthcare system, even a company like Tempest AI, which is in the healthcare industry as well, makes $693 million for 2024. They reported $693 million of revenue for 2024, and their stock is sitting at $50. So you can see kind of the potential for HIMS to really kind of fill that gap between now 33 to 70 and beyond, in my opinion. And so I believe HIMS deserves a higher multiple. So just recently we got really good news, which even furthers why this stock is pumping. But Novo Nordisk is providing HIMS with the Wegovy medication that they are known for. And so this partnership will be really great for both sides. And the stock shot up 40% overnight. And so that, with earnings coming up and people kind of really the stock going viral on X and Reddit, I really think there's a great amount of momentum moving the stock, and I think it's going to pump in the next few months. But for me, this is a long-term hold. I really do see the potential in this company. And so the last thing I want to say is that this stock is volatile. As we saw before, it shot from 24 to 70 and then back to 24 pretty much within a month. And granted, that was due to a lot of macroeconomic factors, but if you're in it for a long-term mindset, I really don't see the problem here. For me, I'm going to buy low at 33, 25, and when it dips, I'll just keep buying because I really do see the potential, and I am bullish on HIMS. I really do believe that this stock could be worth $100 to $200 in the next 5 to 10 years. And if you're a beginner investor that wants a few growth stocks in your portfolio, I would definitely take a look at HIMS to see if that's something you're interested in. Do your due diligence on the stock and on the company. Let me know in the comments if you're bullish on HIMS, and if you're not, let me know why. I really would love to learn from you guys. I'll be sharing more videos about stocks that I'm bullish on, and then also about the state of the stock market. So if you're interested in supporting me, please hit that subscribe button. And yeah, I'll be seeing you more, I guess.